community. And now, let's dive in to the Splash Live.
Good morning, I'm Tyler Kieft. Welcome to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield Live daily news and talk show. Also joining me this morning is Dave Scott on our team. Dave, good morning to you.
Tyler, so good to be with you. Thank you for all that you do where you are.
And then appreciate your work as well, Dave. Also joining us today for the second time in a row this week, our newest member of the team, Diane Shaban. Diane, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you, Tyler. Good morning to you and Dave and everyone watching us.
Yes, and for those of you watching us, here's where you can watch us as you're going around town this morning. Civic Center TV on Comcast Channel 15, as well as on AT&T Channel 99 in the Greater West Bloomfield area. You can find us online on civiccentertv.com in high definition, as well as on Facebook, facebook.com/CivicCenterTV15, and on YouTube at Civic Center TV. As you're driving around the community this morning, we're on the radio, as always, on 89.3 Lakes FM. Now let's get to the news. We've got headlines all across the community with Dave Scott. Dave.
Thank you very much, Tyler. Good morning, everyone. Kigo and Sylvan restaurants are still open during this construction period that's going on today in the show. We're going to highlight some of them. We're going to keep doing this during this construction period of time, and we encourage you to get out and support these restaurants, especially during non-prime hours. Traffic ain't that bad. We'll tell you about it. Oakland County Sheriff asking your help to identify the person who shot a wheelchair-bound man in Pontiac with a pellet gun on Saturday night. Smoke detectors are credited for saving the lives of West Bloomfield residents in a fire over the weekend. West Bloomfield Fire Department taking a look at the whole thing now to learn a little bit more. We're going to talk to Chief Flynn or others from the West Bloomfield Fire Department before the week is over. Southeastern Michigan rock painter scavenger hunt is going on. I think what that headline means is there is a scavenger hunt in West Bloomfield that involves some painted rocks like this. They're not going to be easy for you to find. You're going to have to do a little searching, maybe a fun thing for you and the kids to do. More on that on the program today. West Bloomfield football team getting ready for their big season. They were participating in some regional 7-on-7 drills with other teams from around southeastern Michigan. We have video today for you. There's a new small business development center just opened in Pontiac. They had the ribbon cutting just a couple of days ago. We'll tell you about it. Mural painting at the Jewish Community Center caught the attention of the West Bloomfield Township Board in their meeting last night. We've got that story. $1,200 grants are available for moms just like you to help you with your parenting and some of the expenses. A lot of people still dealing with high prices. And Marshbank music concerts happen again. We've been talking about it. Those concerts happen, of course. The next one tomorrow as that series continues on Wednesday night at Marshbank Park. And finally, with all the fun, Tyler, Keegle Harbor is going to be rocking this Friday with a big old block party. Road construction be damned. We're all going to get together right behind City Hall, and we will have that story and more coming up this morning on the Splash Live. That's the news, Tyler.
In the meantime, it's a beautiful week already. That's going to continue. Very little rain during your work week this week. Tuesday, today, your high 79 degrees, low of 61, currently 66 as you're making your morning commute. On Wednesday, it's 83 degrees is your high, 64 is the low. And Thursday, high of 81 and a low of 62. That is the only day this week we're expecting to have some rain. Could be rainy with some scattered thunderstorms. Other than that, a nice sunny or partly cloudy week here in the Greater West Bloomfield community. We've got plenty more coming up on the Splash Live this morning. Plenty of news and information to get to. We'll get to all that after this short break. You're watching and listening to the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important.
And now the same is true in the face of flu.
Influenza has the power to infect millions.
But it's easy to protect yourself, your family, and your community.
The flu vaccine is safe and effective. And with COVID-19 still around,
it's essential. Together we can face flu season head on.
Visit michigan.gov/flu.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
And now, back to the Splash, live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dave Scott and Diane Shaban on today's edition of the program. Plenty to get to on today's show. The biggest news around town, of course, continues to be the construction on Orchard Lake Road. And an important consideration during this time continues to be is support these local businesses, these mom and pop shops, restaurants, and more all throughout our community, especially in that Orchard Lake Road corridor where many of these businesses, especially those restaurants, remain open with their normal hours all throughout this current time. And that includes, we had a post yesterday on Facebook from Karen Mebrod out of Keegle Harbor talking about a business right at one of the main choke points of this construction on Orchard Lake Road, just across the street from Commerce Road, and blocked off, of course, from other side streets by Pine Lake Road being blocked as well. The post read, quote, "We knew Commerce was closing for major drain work during the road construction. We didn't realize that from Commerce heading toward Pine Lake, that would also be one way heading out of Keego. It's created such a hardship for the little strip mall known as Pine Lake Liquor and Early Bird Cafe. And as the small area is one-way traffic only." Here on the screen, you are seeing Nick, who is the owner of Pine Lake Market that was pictured by Karen Mebrod, the owner of that market. It is a locally owned market right there in Keegle Harbor, in the heart of the community. So as you're going out and about today, and maybe after your work or later on in the evening when the traffic dies down a little bit, important to visit small businesses all throughout the community. Here's Ellen's Bakery and Cafe in Sylvan Lake and so many other options all throughout the community. And Dave, this is really the big point we want to be making here about these businesses is they're still open. They still need your business. And especially with the struggles of the past few years with the COVID-19 pandemic, we don't want to recreate any of those struggles because of this construction.
No, you're absolutely right. And that business that you highlighted, that you found the information on Facebook, that one is particularly challenged. You mentioned it right. I don't think anyone really knew all of the details, even though the Road Commission for Oakland County published all of them. And we'll talk to Craig Bryson tomorrow on the show about this project and see how things are going. But even with that, even I, when I looked at all the stuff, it didn't really impact me that they were going to shut off Orchard Lake Road north. Okay, so there's no northbound traffic hitting Orchard Lake Road in the south side of the construction. Did that make sense? I'll say it again. That was a lot of north and south. There's no northbound traffic hitting Orchard Lake Road on the south side of the construction. So you're driving up Orchard Lake Road, you get diverted before you even get to Commerce, before you get to Roosevelt, before you get to Keego. So, if you want to, and then Commerce Road is closed, right? So if you want to go to that restaurant and have your breakfast, guess what you got to do? You got to navigate all the way around and then come back south on Orchard Lake Road in the construction. And then on top of that, you got to probably be able to make that left turn. Now, it shouldn't be that hard, but there's construction. They're actually doing construction on that side of the road right there. So that is a serious hardship, particularly for that business. I don't know what we can do. Maybe we should do, and our schedule's very tight, but maybe, Tyler, we need to go out and do a live broadcast or something there and see if we can help them out, because that is a real nightmare for that business. And that's just part of road construction, right? But I think of all the businesses in Keego, and that little strip mall right there in the most southern part of the construction has got to be one of the areas most severely impacted. I don't know about you. I've never had breakfast there. So maybe a yummy opportunity for us in the next couple of days. Maybe we can put some details together and one of us get out there and broadcast live, have breakfast, and see if we could get the community a little bit excited about helping them out. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they could shift their hours or do something. I'm sure any business person is going to do everything they can creatively to solve the problem, but we are with them. Let's call them today and see what we can do. Let's set up a live broadcast maybe for Tuesday next week or whenever we can get out there. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to get out to some of these businesses and show them support directly there, show them in action, staying in action during this construction project. It's not going to be going on for too long, but even a short period of time for construction, especially given these circumstances, could have a big impact on these local businesses, Dave.
All right. Meanwhile, up in Pontiac, Oakland County sheriffs are asking for your help to identify the person who shot a wheelchair-bound man with a pellet gun on Saturday night. And, here's the guy. There have been profiles about him, and click on Detroit and the other papers. I didn't want to put his name on the air, but it's out there. But, oh my goodness. And then on top of that, there were some hate crime issues associated with this crime as well. Who would shoot somebody in a wheelchair with a pellet gun intentionally? Now, maybe by mistake, okay, but it looks like this wasn't a mistaken incident, an intentional incident. Oakland County sheriffs, I would really like to find. I'm sure they really would. I'm not laughing about it. I'm sure they're motivated to really want to find whoever that person is. There's all kinds of crime, but you look at crimes like this one, and it just makes you feel like, are you kidding me? I mean, what would motivate somebody to do something awful? This guy, as you can see, very overweight, wheelchair bound, just struggling probably on some level to make every day happen. And then somebody comes and, takes a bunch of shots at him with a pellet gun. If you know anything about this story, what you want to do is get on the phone and call the Oakland County Sheriff's Department. Here's good news. They have a $1,000 reward available if you are able to help them with the appropriate tip that results in an arrest of somebody who's associated with this. No tip too small. 1-800-SPEAK-UP is the number to call. 1-800-SPEAK UP. I'll say it one more time. 1-800-SPEAK-UP is the number to call. Sheriff Mike Bouchard said the incident happened on Saturday, shortly after midnight. I don't know if that's Friday night or Saturday night, but it did happen over the weekend. And unless I've missed something, Tyler, I believe they are still searching for the individual associated with this. It'd be just great. Now, remember, we reported here on this show, I'm not saying we take credit for it, but we reported that guy in Troy, right? Put his picture up on the screens and, do you know this guy? And the next day, Troy police found him. So maybe one of our viewers will talk to somebody and let them know to be looking for anybody that knows anything about this terrible incident, and hopefully we'll be able to find a result and a better solution to it. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back when we return. Of course, a terrible fire over the weekend, but all lives were spared thanks to smoke detectors. What should you be doing in your home to make sure that you're prepared should something unfortunate like that happen to you? Diane Shabana's got more information when we take a look at this story in just a moment. Good morning. You're watching The Splash Live.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Watch Civic Center TV with our brand new live captions. To turn on live captions, go to civiccentertv.com and click Watch Live. In your web browser, click on the Options tab in the top right and find the Accessibilities tab. Then just switch on live captions to heighten your enjoyment of our local programming. Thank you so much for watching Civic Center TV.
Looking for a midweek meal? Keep the bag lunch at home this summer and enjoy street food in your neighborhood with Food Truck Tuesdays. Enjoy cuisine from around Michigan outside the WB Parks and Recreation Activity Center with a different vendor every Tuesday. Like Monkey Business on July 25th. All summer, every Tuesday, Food Truck Tuesday. This community update from Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Let's relish these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. keep the festivals going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
And now, back to the Splash, live.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Splash Live. Dave Scott here. Tyler Kieft. Diane Shaban is with us. So, big fire over the weekend. Always sad when that happens. But West Bloomfield and other departments came to the rescue, along with smoke detectors that were working, and nobody passes away or perishes in this fire. Let's start with Tyler Kieft, who brings us up to date on all of the information about the firefighting effort and what happened over the weekend with this terrible fire.
Yeah, Dave, as this continues to be under investigation, still a fairly recent fire, these investigations tend to take some time before a cause of fire is initiated and is marked down, and then ultimately decisions are made for insurance purposes and for relief purposes and so on. So this is still under investigation at this time, but one of the few details that the West Bloomfield Fire Department has been adamant about in the aftermath of this fire is the impact that smoke detectors had in helping this family escape their home while it was ablaze on Sunday night. And that's something that they often preach to the community, is getting your smoke detectors and checked up and having a plan in place. Diane Shaban's with us, has more details on steps that you can take in order to make these sort of movements in your home and keep yourself and your family safe in case of fire. Diane.
Yeah, Tyler, there are some essential steps that homeowners can take to minimize the risk of fire in their homes. And as you said earlier, one of them is making sure you do have all your fire smoke alarms installed at every level in your home, in your bedrooms and everywhere. Test them regularly. Make sure you replace your batteries at least once a year. Make sure you have fire extinguishers in key areas such as your kitchen or in your garage and near fireplaces or anywhere that there's a fire hazard. Also, most essentially, and a lot of people don't do that, is create a fire escape plan for you and your family. Make sure that you conduct some different fire drills with your family, and just to keep them safe in case of an emergency, because you never know what happens. Other things that people can do is try to practice like safe cooking. Make sure that they be cautious around candles or anything flammable. So those are like basic steps that people can do to avoid it or escape,
Yeah, thank you, Diane, because thank you, Diane, for that. It's important that we keep our homes safe, and having a plan is a big part of that. We are going to aim to get either Chief Flynn or Byron Turnquist or one of the deputy fire marshals from the West Bloomfield Fire Department on the show later on this week in order to anticipate what we can do in our homes in the case of a fire, what those plans should look like, and how often you should be checking those smoke detectors.
Tyler, that is,
story.
I mean, we definitely want to get to that, Tyler, real quick before you move on to the next story. Listen, it's easy to forget. I mean, all the things that Diane just went down, we know them, right? We know them. We got to have the fire extinguishers. We got to have the batteries. But you know what? Just sitting there listening to her, I was kind of going through that mental checklist at my house, thinking, well, where is my kitchen fire extinguisher? And I know I have that one, and now I know where that is. But wouldn't it be a good idea to have an extra fire extinguisher in my bedroom, right? Because let's say the whole place goes on a blaze. I'm all alone in the bedroom. I can't get out of there. I got to, I'm fighting off flames. I mean, for the cost of one more fire extinguisher, for goodness sake. So I think it will be great to talk to the West Bloomfield Fire Department. And let's take this opportunity to remind everybody the things they know, but they always need a reminder for. And then obviously when we go in October, Tyler, to live broadcast as we do every year, as Chief Flynn, the West Bloomfield Fire Department already invited us to, we go to the West Bloomfield Fire Department open house, which happens at Fire Station number 1 at Orchard Lake Road. We head out there. They're going to, have all the demonstrations. They're going to remind us again. And I know, Tyler and Diane, you can comment on this real quick too. Certainly we want to change the batteries at least once a year, if not twice a year. And they remind us to do that when the time changes, right? So as you spring forward and you fall back, that's a good time to get in there and replace that battery. But I'm sure a lot of people forget to do it. And, and we just need to keep reminding people that that's really important. So good report by everybody. And we'll have more as the week goes on. Tyler, families can have an awful lot of fun in West Bloomfield as we have a really interesting scavenger hunt going on in our community.
Yeah, we don't have clues. What we do have is pictures, Dave. It's an interesting thing we found on Facebook this morning from a group called Smile Painted Rocks. They design and paint rocks and hide them in communities all throughout Michigan. They've done this in Otsego Lake State Park, Warren, Centerline, St. Clair Shores, and other communities. Now it is happening in West Bloomfield. Just this morning, they posted some of these pictures you're seeing on your screen of various rocks that they've designed hidden all throughout the community. Now, some of these may provide you some sort of a clue of where these locations may be, but whether you know where they are or they're not, interesting thing to look around for today. If you got the kids at home, it's going to be a beautiful day outside to go take a look for some of these rocks that will definitely stand out in many places.
Are you kidding me? I mean, I was wondering whether it was rocks or boulders. Like some people will take like a whole big, huge boulder at the end of their driveway and paint that whole thing up. Can you put that picture back up full screen one more time, Calvin? Are you telling me that, just put that up full screen if you can. Are you telling me that we have to run around the township and go all Where's Waldo on those tiny little rocks, and we're supposed to find that somehow? I mean, I'm not picking on the guys. Sounds like a fun, maybe I am. Sounds like a really fun enterprise, but I just want to understand, is that the deal?
Well, it seems to me like they're kind of hidden in plain sight. And you see those backgrounds being on a light fixture, being on some other sculptures that are relatively earth tone colors. And these tend to be a little bit more bright and popping out. So I would disagree with you, Dave. I think they stand out very well.
All right, Diane, can you imagine, running around West Bloomfield, trying to find a pebble? I mean, I think I would have more luck getting my metal detector out and going to the beach this weekend and trying to find something there, like a gold watch or a ring or something, than one of these little. Not that I would do that. That's kind of a geeky thing to do. I just want to be on the record with that. But those things are small. Do you think that they are findable around West Bloomfield? Tyler says yes. I'm not so sure.
I'm not so sure. I'm with you, Dave. Like, I don't think I'm going to run around and finding little puzzles. I'm sure that kids will find that really enjoyable. My 30-year-old body will not. I think that's. But I will. I mean, hey, Dave, you just gave me an idea about just like going out there with a metal detector and finding some watches.
All right. Well, it sounds like a fun enterprise maybe for the weekend. But Tyler, look, I love anything that gets people out and about, gets them active and exploring different areas of our community. So let's give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm not picking on it. It just sounds like it's going to be a real challenge. And more information is on Facebook. Is that correct?
Yes, more information can be found on Facebook. Again, the page that is responsible for this is called Smile Painted Rocks, Dave.
All right, Smile Painted Rocks. It's on Facebook. You can find it there. It's probably easier to find our West Bloomfield High School football team getting ready for their season. Big 7-on-7 opportunity against some other schools here in Metro Detroit. Tyler Kieft, I know you're the man who knows everything about West Bloomfield and high school football. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, they participated in a tournament and a showcase through this organization out of Detroit called Sound Mind, Sound Body. This is an organization that focuses on helping athletes improve as students and in their athletics, helping them graduate high school and set themselves up for both academic and athletic scholarships at the next level. As you're seeing on the screen, some players participating. You got quarterback Rick Nance looking nice and healthy, making some nice throws. This is a really nice one. Jaden Allos, big target for him. You're going to be seeing him get a lot of catches this season. Another one coming up here where Jaden Allos makes a big catch in the end zone at Wayne State University. Hopefully we're seeing that at the end of the month. August 24th is when West Bloomfield kicks off their season right back there at Tom Adams Field against Clinton River Chippewa Valley, Dave.
All right. Well, I'm really glad. I'm so glad they put an elevator in that press box, because that was the toughest climb of any stadium that we had to go to and cover the high school football season. I know that's important to us, not too important to our viewers, but we're really excited about kicking off the high school football season. We will have as much coverage as the schools, the teams, and the Michigan High School Athletic Association will allow us. And I think we got every regular season game on TV live last year, Tyler, without exception, and I expect that will be the case one more time. Meanwhile, up in Pontiac, there's a new small business development center. There was a ribbon cutting for it just the other day. It is the Center for Pontiac Entrepreneurship, and they have a new facility. The Center for Pontiac Entrepreneurship is dedicated to empowering aspiring entrepreneurs with the resources and skills needed to navigate their business successfully. They combine business training, leadership development, access to professional services, financially counseling, and a whole lot more. And this is a huge thing, because if you've got a great idea, you want to start a business, but then there's all the other stuff. Maybe you got the idea, but you gotta put all the other things together. I can tell you from my own personal experience, there was a tremendous amount of help from Oakland County to help us start this business. And now I can really applaud the efforts of this organization that the city of Pontiac is supporting with this new, I'll just call it small business incubator right in town. And more information available on Facebook. And if you get out on the web and you search new small business development in Pontiac, this will pop up and you can check out all the information. We salute those that are trying to make a difference and help new entrepreneurs get in the game. Come on in, everybody. The water is beautiful and we welcome you. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in just a minute. When we return, more coming up right here on The Splash. Murals have been recognized by the West Bloomfield Township Board. Some beautiful murals over at the Jewish Community Center. A lot of great events coming up, including Marshbank Music tomorrow night in West Bloomfield. We've got that story and others coming up in a moment. Don't go away. You're watching The Splash Live.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
Many people are feeling overwhelmed and struggling with mental wellness these days. So be kind to your mind. Give yourself permission to breathe. Share your feelings. You are not alone. Have hope. Talk to a Stay Well counselor for free confidential help 24/7 through the COVID-19 hotline.
And now, back to The Splash Live.
Welcome back to The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. I'm Tyler Kieft, also joined by Dave Scott and Diane Chabon on today's edition of the program. Some interesting news last night at the West Bloomfield Township Board meeting, as the board recognized a world-renowned artist for his work on a mural right here in West Bloomfield Township. The artist is Solomon Souza, a British-Israeli street artist who was recognized by the Township Board on Monday night for this very painting you're seeing on your screen that was at the Janice Charach Gallery at the Jewish Community Center of Metropolitan Detroit. This 60-foot by 6 feet mural was also in partnership with the Asian Pacific Islander American Public Affairs Association and the Jewish Community Center of Metropolitan Detroit. Souza is famous for painting over 250 murals around the world, including the Shuk Street Market in Jerusalem, and is also the son of a man known as the Picasso of India. He's the grandson of the late Newton Francis Souza, who is also considered the father of modern Indian art. And this was something that was recognized by the township as being a multicultural effort, bringing people from around the community and from throughout other communities in southeastern Michigan and beyond to the greater West Bloomfield area. And of course, giving a lot of credit to this world-renowned artist for choosing our local community to put forth this piece of art. Dave, this is a community that artists love to come to all throughout the many seasons of the year. And you know, we have Solomon Souza, who's had his art at the Janice Charach Gallery of recent times, and very soon at the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. Plenty of more artists coming into town.
Absolutely. That's a good transition. But just flashing back to the story about Souza, Newton Francis Souza, you said was his father. Did I get that part of the story correct? And his inspiration. Didn't he write all those really great grandfather? Okay. Didn't he write all those really great marches? Oh no, that was John Philip Sousa. It was one of those Sousas. So no connection, I'm sure. But you know, hey, that was, put that piece of art back up if you can, just for a moment, full screen, if you'd be so kind, Calvin. I mean, that is, yeah, that one right there. Put that on screen if you would. That is absolutely remarkable. I mean, look at that. That is just unbelievable how colorful and beautiful that is. And I don't know, maybe you can put that, forgive me for directing you on camera. Can you just take that totally full screen just for a second? I don't know if you can do that or not. Just make it a little bit bigger so everybody can really see some of the detail. If you can't, there you go. So, I mean, look at the detail, the intricate detail in there. And Tyler, looking at that piece, it kind of feels to me like it's got some very deep traditional artistic roots, kind of combined and morphed with street graffiti. That's just the feel I get when I look at it. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's very detailed. It's very well spread out, and there's a lot going on in this. And what's interesting too, in some of the pictures that you saw, David, is you saw some of how this came together, kind of layer by layer. And here's another great shot of it that shows it in different lighting and really brings the color out a lot more for those that are watching at home or later on CivicCenterTV.com on our on-demand page. This is an incredible piece of artwork, and it's just a small example in comparison to all the work that Solomon Souza has done on art pieces all throughout the world, including places like Jerusalem of late, and others all throughout even the United States, beyond this piece that was put into the Janice Charach Gallery back in April and recognized by the Township Board on Monday night yesterday.
All right. Well, kudos to everybody at the JCC. It isn't easy to develop these relationships and have these kind of opportunities. And good of the West Bloomfield Township Board to recognize that. Speaking of great work, specifically in West Bloomfield Township, and there's a lot of great work going on by people all over Oakland County and the state of Michigan, as evidence from many of the stories that we have had on the program today. But certainly high on my list of all the great things going on is the concert series at Marshbank Park in West Bloomfield. And we got a concert tomorrow night, Tom Petty Tribute Band. We talked to the artist yesterday here on the program. This looks like it's going to be a great concert tomorrow night. Hopefully the weather is going to be okay. We'll keep our fingers crossed on that one. But what a great venue we have, Marshbank Park. If you've not been out there and if you've not taken a look at the area that they have set up that I kind of call the mini Pine Knob with a hill, in the amphitheater area, no seating there, but it's really an amazing environment, an absolutely incredible environment right there at Marshbank Park. Tyler, you've been and worked at a lot of those shows. What are your thoughts about the concert for tomorrow night?
Yeah, and it's a great venue, and there's so much that does go on at Marshbank Park, even beyond the music. There's plenty of activities for the whole family before the show begins at 6 o'clock with the Insiders, a Tom Petty tribute band, the artist of choice this week. But all the fun begins at 5:30. There's, of course, a playground for the kids to get them all energized before the concert. Big concert hall, plenty of seating, great acoustics from that sort of, as you said, Dave, amphitheater sort of environment that they have at Marshbank Park, and all the other activities activities all throughout the park. So you can enjoy the concert. It gets done about 8:30 p.m. And even if you're not necessarily on the hill for the entirety of the concert, you're exploring parts of the park. Another great thing to do, take a little bit of a walk, and you can still hear all that great music happening at Marshbank Park for the Marshbank Music Series. It's also a great place to go and enjoy a nice meal with some entertainment on a Wednesday night in West Bloomfield, as there'll be food trucks that come in every single week for this program, as well as additional food trucks that come in week after week. Vegged Out and the Great Greek Food Truck will be at each one of these events, 2 additional food trucks every single week. And if you're not able to make it out on Wednesday, Dave, you can go back out there all throughout the rest of the summer. They got 3 more shows. July 26th, it's going to be Detroit Retro Society Soul, Funk, and R&B. Then August 2nd, big one I know you're excited about, Kathmandu, Bob Seger tribute. And then on August 9th, they're going to do a makeup date for last week's concert, which of course was unfortunately rained out and rescheduled for that rain date, August 9th. So still 3 more concerts even beyond this week, 4 total, including Wednesday night with, again, the Insiders, the Tom Petty tribute band. And Dave, if anyone hasn't heard of that band, they want to hear some stories about how it came together. Really interesting stories. We were able to talk with Max Lockwood, who is the guitarist and the vocalist for the band, on yesterday's edition of the Splash Live. Really cool event,
Tyler,
Wednesday night at Marshbank Park.
I've got my alternative parody lyrics available for Kathmandu at a $20 bill to hand to the band. And I think I'll take them to the concert that night, okay? And give them the lyrics and see if I can bribe them into doing at least one chorus of my Kathmandu alternative instead of, I think I'm going to Kathmandu. It's, I think I'm going to Kalamazoo. That's really, really what I want to do. Gonna have a beer with you in Kalamazoo. So do you think there's any, pretty good, huh? Do you think there's any chance I can get them to do all our altered lyric?
Well, there's plenty of time to get that to them, Dave. That concert not till August 2nd, so I'm sure you can work on back channeling to the band and getting all that information you need to get to them in time for this concert.
All right, it's going to be a great show, and we really salute the people over at West Bloomfield Parks and Rec for putting on these concerts. They're absolutely terrific. They're everything, all the excitement and fun that you would expect if you're going out to Pine Knob. However, it isn't going to cost you $1,000 a ticket, and you don't need to sit in your car for about 45 minutes to an hour and a half to drive back to your home after the concert. So food right there, great music, a lot of fun. I like Pine Knob. I'm not really picking on them. But we hope that you get out and enjoy that concert. Other concerts going on in our area. Of course, Tyler, we have the concerts going on Thursday in Sylvan Lake. Why don't you tell us all about it?
Yeah, it's the Sil Sunsets concert series. That's coming up Thursday again in Sylvan Lake, 7 o'clock to 9 p.m. And it's a really interesting artist again this week. Last week, they had an artist from the Detroit area who's performing still all around the community. And then on Thursday this week, it's going to be someone you've probably seen on the TV screen before. Alex Shear is the musician at this week's event, 7 o'clock at the community center. He's hailing from Port Huron, but you've probably seen him before on American Idol. He'll be the performer at this week's series. In addition, plenty of other food, fun, and recreation with the community at the Sil Sunsets concert. This is different from the Marshbank Music Series, Dave, in that it is completely community organized. It's a grassroots effort from Kelly Krause and other members of the community. It is fundraiser driven, so people can donate cans for concerts fundraiser in order to help pay these artists to come in and perform at these concerts, and of course can volunteer in a number of other ways to help organize these and make these continue to go. As you can see, Dave, it is a concert that gets plenty of turnout, whether it's at the community center or at individual homes in the community. It's something that brings people out onto the water, out onto the sidewalk, out to the community center to engage with the community each and every day. And of course, there's other events going on all throughout Sylvan Lake on Wednesday and Thursday nights also that provide plenty of other fun with the community right there in the prettiest little city in Michigan.
Well, no question about it. And really part of the fun to going to these events, the star of the show is the Sylvan Lake Community Center itself. It is a beautiful new modern building sitting on one of the most precious pieces of property in all of Metro Detroit. right on that peninsula, surrounded on three sides. There's a couple of homes there too, but essentially surrounded on three sides with water from Sylvan Lake, and absolutely spectacular. The sunsets are spectacular. Everything is great when you're out there. Even if you're sitting in the middle of a really boring city council meeting, you can always look out the window. Not that they're boring, but you can always look out the window and just look at the beautiful landscape. It's a great facility, and it's perfect for Sylvan. For folks in Sylvan, you can have your wedding or other event there. So great asset that we have here in the greater West Bloomfield area. All right, we've got more information, including even more events. Kegel Harbor Block Party happens this Friday. We've got details on that and a whole lot more. We're not done. We've got the Splash Live continuing for you here this morning on Civic Center TV, on civiccentertv.com, and of course across all of social media, Facebook, YouTube, and much more. Don't go away. We'll be back. We've got more coming up right after this on the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
Let's savor these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the dining out going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
Watch Civic Center TV with our brand new live captions. To turn on live captions, go to civiccentertv.com and click Watch Live. In your web browser, click on the Options tab in the top right and find the Accessibilities tab. Then just switch on live captions to heighten your enjoyment of our local programming. Thank you so much for watching Civic Center TV.
Many people are feeling overwhelmed and struggling with mental wellness these days. So be kind to your mind. Give yourself permission to breathe. Share your feelings. You are not alone. Have hope. Talk to a Stay Well counselor for free confidential help 24/7 through the COVID-19 hotline.
In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important.
And now the same is true in the face of flu.
Influenza has the power to infect millions.
But it's easy to protect yourself, your family, and your community.
The flu vaccine is safe and effective. And with COVID-19 still around,
It's essential. Together we can face flu season head on.
Visit michigan.gov/flu.
Like what you see? Beautiful works of art, masterworks of metal, and accomplishments of artistry will be on display near you. All kinds of artists from all walks of life come together to celebrate their skill and appreciate their work's beauty. Hot Works presents the 2023 Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. Stop by July 29th and 30th between 2 and 10 p.m. between Powers and Daly off of Orchard Lake Road. And now, back to the Splash, live.
Well, good morning and welcome back to the Splash Live. Dave Scott here on the Splash Live. Tyler Kieft here as well. So we talk about all of the really amazing things going on in the greater West Bloomfield area and Oakland County in the state of Michigan. And Tyler, one of those really amazing projects that's going on here in Auto City is the M1 Concourse. We got some video. I was out there over the weekend for a Cars Under the Stars event, and I'm telling you, it was absolutely amazing. I know almost everyone else in the community has been out there, and this is video of us running down the track. But I hadn't, and so I can only presume that others. Let me measure this. Tyler, have you been out there? Yes or no? I know we're watching the video. We don't have it on screen, but have you been out to the M1 Concourse yet?
No, I have not been out there. No.
All right. Okay. So I don't feel bad about telling this story from ground zero. So the M1 Concourse is at Woodward and South Boulevard. It's on a piece of property that I'm telling you wasn't really been used for a whole lot. That neighborhood right there in that South Boulevard area is probably one of the more challenged neighborhoods we have here in southeastern Michigan. And what they did is they built a 1.25 miles, I think, track. You could see some of the cars that were on it on Sunday night when I was out there. They built a 1.25 mile track. They built these condo-like garages. You'll see in the background here in a minute in this B-roll. They built this beautiful facility that you see in the background there that's got a big restaurant and meeting rooms and a whole lot more. And then, like any track, there's a big infield. So what is this? It's a place where if you're well-to-do and have a very expensive, amazing car that you want to drive fast, you've got somewhere to do it. You don't have to, break the law, look over your shoulder with the police on Woodward Avenue. You can actually go here. If you're developing some kind of a very fast automobile or modifying it, it's great. If you just own a couple of these cars and you'd like to get them out and learn how to drive them in a track environment, there's training for you. So it's an amazing facility. And then what they've done now is this campus has developed more over the past couple of years is they're starting to hold magnificent events like the Cars Under the Stars event. And there's going to be an auto-related drive-in movie night coming up on the 29th of July. And there will also be, obviously, a big celebration around the Woodward Dream Cruise. You can see the Oakland County stage was out there over the weekend with some really good entertainment. So in the infield, you've got all these cars. You can see some of them here. People bring their cars in. It's kind of like any other car show. People bring in, they show off their cars, they get together, they have some food. Food trucks are all lined up there. And right now, I think we're just, again, driving down this track here so you can see what's going on. So it was an amazing experience out there for this incredible event. And if you've not been out to the M1 Concourse, look for a lot more exciting events. You might want to go to their webpage today and take a look at the calendar of events they have going on out there, and also take an opportunity to look at the facilities. If you're looking for somewhere for an event, it's a great place to go. Now, to make the whole experience on Sunday even more fun than it already was, by, fighting through the traffic, seeing all the cars, the thousands of people that were there, the fireworks show, everything else that made that Sunday night a spectacular night for thousands here in Metro Detroit, right in Pontiac. To make it even better, I ran into our very good friend and her kids, and I'm talking about Brooke Allen of WWJ Radio, and one of the, I think, Tyler, was she the original host? If not the original host.
No, she was one of the earlier hosts of the show.
Right. So one of the earlier hosts that was on The Splash, and she said, "Dave, what are you doing on here?" I said, "Well, I'm working on The Splash." And she said, "Oh, yeah, I remember that show." So I broke the cameras out and took a couple of minutes with her. And I know this doesn't have the proper setup, guys, our production team, but let's just roll that interview that I did with Brooke Sunday night out at the M1 Concourse. Hey, everybody, Dave Scott from The Splash here at the M1 Concourse. What is this event called? It's like fireworks night or something.
Stars and cars.
Stars, and thank you, Brooke. That she knows what it's called, because you know who this is. Look who I ran into, Brooke Allen, former host of The Splash.
Oh my gosh, it was so good to see you. I yelled for Dave. I'm like, Dave Scott, I haven't seen you in years.
WWJ's Brooke Allen. Who are these guys?
My name's Stacy Bowman. My name's Carson Bowman.
All right, you guys. So, Brooke, our Splash audience, we hear you on the radio. What's going on?
You know, not much. We're just hanging out, and you know, it was a beautiful night to come out here. So we decided to see all the fancy cars. We love bright, shiny things. so here we are. So that's where we are. But no, you know, just doing the deal on WWJ, and we'll see what adventure comes up.
This is an amazing facility. I mean, this grew out of nothing and like a weed. It was like it wasn't here, and then boom, it's here.
Right? Yeah, it's
and
amazing.
Then it's growing.
Right.
I mean, they've got this huge building, all the garages, the track, and this could only happen in Auto Town, huh?
Right, for sure. Yeah, no, it's. Have you walked the whole track?
Not yet.
Okay, so this is your first time being here. I've been at one of the private garages. It's pretty amazing, right? So,
of course, I've been at one of the private
garages because that's how I am. But you know, it's a really cool place. You know, people love it. I mean, cars were stacked up, right, trying to get in because it's such a hot ticket right now. So, and of course the Dream Cruise is, you know, there's a lot of stuff coming.
Right. There's a ton of things going on here, and this is an amazing resource for our community with all of the auto activity we have here. And then the auto media from all over the world has found out about this.
Yeah.
They're here shooting movies and documentaries
it's
and doing what we all like to do, come and look at the cars.
I know, right? We'd love to look at the cars, right? Yeah. So we've been walking the track, and when we ran into you, we were just circling, and it's amazing to see you.
All right. Well, great to see you. Good to meet the clan.
Yes,
and I got more coming up from here. We'll watch fireworks a little later on and a whole lot more. Dave Scott for the Splash Live. Okay. Well, we're not going to see the fireworks, unfortunately. But we do have some other really special video for you. So I ran into, when I was out there at the M1 Concourse on Sunday, I ran into an individual, the kind of people that you see in these garages. And again, there are garages surrounding the entire track. And these aren't like your, old crummy pole barn garage. These are really fancy, amazing places. Many of them with a level or 2 or 3 levels that really are akin to more like a suite down at LCA than a garage. And a lot of people use them for parties. Other people use them to just house their really nice cars. And then for some people, they're a working environment right in the track where they can develop and test automobiles. That was certainly the case of Fred Calero, who I ran into. Now, Fred is working on the development of a Ford GT. He has about 30 chassis. Now, I didn't know, and maybe you don't know what a Ford GT is, but it is an extraordinary fast race car. This is not something that you're gonna, pull up your driveway. And he had a couple of them there. And so, I was talking to Fred, and I asked Fred what the benefit is of having this garage right on the property with this track, and how key that might be to the development of products like this Ford GT that he's working on. And here's what Fred had to say.
So if you watch the movie Ford versus Ferrari, everybody is a big fan of that movie, and you'll notice that they were at an airport. Okay, so if you're developing a car, you're always finding things to fix or things to break so you can fix it. And that's part of the development process, whether it's aero, brakes, oiling system, fuel system, tuning, whatever it is. You have to have a place to try it out. Doing it on a dyno can only take you so far. Actually taking it on a track, getting the car to temp and seeing how the car behaves and what goes wrong so you can fix it. So M1 gets us started. Because it's a small track, it's only 1.5 miles, we still have to go to bigger tracks with more harsh environment, warmer environments, with areas where you can go wide open throttle for a longer time. And that way you can really push the car to the limit. So this gets us going to get a base tune, and then we take it from here. So this has been a terrific place to do that. Back
into his garage, Tyler. So that was really cool. But Tyler, you got the computer in front of you. I think I know the answer to this one, but you might want to Google dyno for those people that are watching. And, he refers, I'm sure, to the machine in the computer that you hook the car up to and the engine up to, and then run it up to some pretty high numbers to see how it's going to perform. But you can only do that so much, as Fred indicated in the video. You're not really going to see how the brake's doing and what about all the other systems. So, Tyler, not a car guy. I assume that's what a dyno is.
Yeah, just from my quick Google search, as you mentioned that, yeah, it seems like this is allows you to tinker with preferred settings of a vehicle in order to get certain performance levels to optimum levels for different things you may be doing out on a racetrack, or as you're testing the limits of a vehicle with different changes or modifications that you've made to it. It seems like that is what a dyno unit is all about.
All right. So listen, that track isn't Daytona, but it's an awesome track. Just an amazing facility. We didn't show the video today, but they even have their own very modern gas station there with the very, unique fuels that these automobiles have. M1 Concourse, if you've not been out there, you will be, I'm sure, at some point for some event or another in the city where 99% of the population knows what a dyno is, other than Tyler and I. What a perfect thing to have in this amazing community. And I hope that you will keep them on your radar. And kudos to the city of Pontiac, Tyler, who's done a good job to help create the environment for this development to occur in the first place and to grow.
Yeah, it's a great environment for car lovers throughout the community, but also for car enthusiasts that maybe don't have the coffers to put forth that kind of money for those cars, or certainly for a garage and other necessities for maintaining some of these supercars, but still want to see them in action and can do that right here in Oakland County. It's a great facility. We've had them on our shows in the past numerous times, and they do amazing events all throughout the year when they can out on that track.
No question about it. And believe me, I saw a lot of cars that were not $1 million cars that were out there. But, just a car that your average guy, could fix up, soup up a little bit, and then be really proud to show up with his girlfriend or wife or boyfriend and kids and sit around the car, get chairs out, and be really proud of the hard work that's been happening in the garage and show it off a little bit. There was an awful lot of that. So from cars, we go to your family. And to wrap up this segment of the show, Tyler, it looks like Oakland County's got a grant program that might really help parents in our area that are struggling to make it every day, make it day to day.
Yeah, and this is a program through Oakland County in partnership with Oakland County Michigan Works. It offers the Oakland County Childcare Scholarship. That's up to $1,200 to eligible families in Oakland County. If you go to Oakland County's Facebook page, it's facebook.com/OakGov. You can find more information and a direct link to apply for this scholarship. Some information you're going to need: your proof of residency, proof of household income. You'll need to be able to prove that your child is currently enrolled in a childcare program with a licensed child care provider, and provide your state ID as well to the county in order to go through the qualification process. But as was said, this is up to $1,200 in additional funds that can go to your family to help pay for that child care. Again, Oakland County Michigan Works is behind this. You can go to their website on oakgov.com or go to Oakland County's Facebook page, facebook.com/oakgov. And thank you guys at Master Control. We have a QR code. Best way to do it is to scan that QR code. That will take you directly to the application link through Oakland County Michigan Works. Another place you can go if you need more information, go to your local Oakland County Michigan Works office. Some of them in the greater West Bloomfield area or nearby communities include offices in Pontiac, Southfield, and in Waterford, Dave. And this has been a big focus, not just for Oakland County, but state government as well, providing some extra funds to families to be able to pay for ever important childcare, especially as parents are now back to work in a more normal function.
Well, there's no question about it. And, it's tough. Childcare is very expensive. And so you balance going back to work with the cost of appropriate childcare. Maybe this won't pay, because you can eat up $1,200 pretty quick. And maybe this won't take care of the whole thing, but it's certainly going to help. Another great story of amazing things going on in Oakland County. Dave, Tyler, Diane and Jared and Calvin and the whole crew. We are here each and every morning, and we thank you for joining us right here on Civic Center TV. Thank you so much for checking us out. The program is called The Splash Live. We're here each and every Monday through Friday. It all kicks off at 8:30 in the morning, and you just keep watching and listening throughout the morning. Thanks for watching.